someone else started.
Okay, we started. Actually, we're supposed to start broadcast. Just leave us broadcast.
Okay, guys, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
For some reason, is someone in LA office, like Denis or Evgeny, is there?
Yes.
Guys, who started video before me? Because it says me, I cannot.
Give us a second. We'll make you a host.
Yes, please.
Can you try?
Yeah, it works. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, great, guys. Today we start an API practice, and I share already presentation in lesson presentation channel, and you can start. You can start fill out retro. I share link already. Okay, you started. Great. Guys, go ahead. Just 3 cards. Okay, while you still working on this, I will share my presentation. Today agenda API practice. We'll do retro, and then I will go again through API basics. I will share you how Postman. Will show you how Postman works, and we will start practice on Dean's website. Dean's login field is still not available, and your homework will be about these fields. That's why I will show you on production, because we don't have any other choices. But all collections, what I share with you in my presentation, it's a staging environment. When you can probably play with some endpoints, but some of them will not work, of course, because server is still down. But we will go around it. We'll try to do some practice still. Why I don't see any new cards? Just 2. Okay, a few more minutes. Okay. 70 people want to have a SQL practice. Great. 89 people. Okay, what went well? API explanation went very well. Great. To have more practical what went well to have more practical tasks. I believe it was something what you want to add it, something what wasn't so great. SQL explanation was very awesome and a lot of practice with SQL syntax that helps to answer the questions during interviews. Thank you. It's exactly what I told you guys. We don't have access to DINs, but it actually doesn't matter. You need to practice syntax. Everything what you will find in DINs, you will see that just these tables, and you will practice with the same commands what I showed to you. If you don't have access, it will not ruin your interview at all. Don't worry about it. It will be available before, probably, I hope, before our bootcamp will end it, but you'll be totally fine with this, with no practice in DINs. I know it's frustrating. Who adding actions, like 200 people saying like, we would like to have SQL practice. I don't think we have so many people in the class, to 31. Great. It's me. I think it's back to 32. It's funny. What was not, Postman installation went well. Yes, Postman, it's really easy to install and it's really to use, and I will show you. Again, we have some issues with DINs again. I will show you how to find API in DevTools. You can still practice with login, but you will get all ideas, and we will have another 2 websites where you can practice. Don't worry about this. What didn't go well? Marina, explanation about interview process. No chance to practice with MongoDB, but was able to explain DB questions. Yes, I already covered this. It's okay, guys. MongoDB, actually, I told you already, this MongoDB, it has its own language. And special, and it's working with JSON files. That's why, yeah, it just practice SQL syntax more than enough. People already started to share their interview questions, what they getting from recruiters, and they simply the same what I showed to you. Select something from this table, where this condition, maybe group something, and one girl like from your group already shared 2 tasks, right? You saw it in Ask Me session. It's simple. It's exactly what we did last Saturday. If you will have the same questions in interview, like phone interview, or maybe they will assign some task to do before interview, just go to these videos and practice, and you can always open W3 School. Could we practice with production version of DINS API in Postman? We don't have access to API collections Postman production. But we can find links to login production through DINs, and we will still able to create account and so on. It's kind of workaround. Yeah, but you will have idea. It's the same if you open, DINs always saying we cannot use production website, but actually we don't have any choice. We will just do simple actions like login, create account, change email and so on. I think it's only one option for us, because you will be frustrated, right, if I will not show you on DINs. Yeah. I am trying to fix this issue, how I can. Resume and interview practice went well. We don't practice with JMeter. Yes, of course, because JMeter session will be in a few weeks. Remember, we don't have this session. Probably I will do it, but it's probably next week. I will check schedule, but yeah, it will be soon. In previous group, we did it before, but we decided to do it after API because it's all about API, and probably it's easy to understand when you already have some API knowledge. That's why we switched this section. But don't worry, we will have this JMeter. And again, JMeter can be used for API testing, but we will practice with JMeter to do performance and load testing. It's still using API, but it will be part of our class about performance testing. It's not practice of like API testing, like exactly. I have already practiced some production. Of course, I understand that we really need to practice somewhere in DINs. That's why, yeah, we don't have any choice. Probably if DINs will not like it, they will fix for us environment. I hope so. I don't really know what Marina explanation about interview. You're saying it didn't go well. I really don't know why. Can someone like type in chat what exactly what was not clear? and what you expected from this session, because I think she should cover like interview questions, and you should be asked, it will be kind of mock interview. Can you type in chat what exactly was not clear or what you want to improve? Because again, you will have a few more sessions with mock interview. But most of the time, these interview classes, they go well and people like it. We need to know what to improve if you didn't get all what she showed to you. Actions. We would like to have SQL practice, of course, more practice. Not all of us receive invitation mobile project, no SQL practice. Excited to have a lot of practice with Postman. Yes, to have more practical tasks, 52 people. Please show slides from presentation in presentation mode. It's gonna be bigger font. I wish to, but for me, it's really difficult to switch from presentation. If I will share in presentation mode, I cannot switch to browser super fast. It will be still frustrating. I will try to maybe just maximize my screen when I show you text. But again, when you can open this presentation on your computer, I always give a lot of practical examples, and we really don't go through all presentation. I think she did a good job in interview question practice. It would be nice to hear not only questions, but the ideal answer as well. Now, we share with you questions, all answers you should get from classes already. It's not something new what in presentation, but to have exactly answers, you will have mock interview sessions, we will ask these questions, and you will have opportunity to answer them. In the case, guys, you have mentor session if you want. Yeah, but all these questions, it's what I give to you. It's in, I checked presentation, what Marina shared. It was about API, what you can tell about yourself, about your company. It's everything what already discovered in these classes, right? We answer these questions tons of time. You need to, again, to answer this question, my favorite practice and what I did when I started looking for my first job, you need to memorize, because sometimes you will be stressful interview. You need to create list of these questions and find answers, just like Word document. And you know, like you go through this again and again during the next interview with different recruiter. You need to find answers in our previous presentation, create for you list, and about company and about yourself, it's your homework. You need to create this story for you. It's not something what they will ask you and you will just trying to say something. You need to know it, like, you know, like at night, if someone will wake you up, you need to tell your story, how you became QA, what is the idea, why do you like it, you know, like you need to create, you need to write it down, you need to check it again before interview. It's your homework. You really need to memorize it, because even you, for example, like think it this way, if you, for example, a counter, or you're working in, I don't know, anywhere, and people really don't know what you do, even you do it really every day and 10 years, and people will ask you, can you say what you do like everyday basis? You will not make this answer organized, you know, like you will frustrated, you know, like, oh, maybe I do this, sometimes this, you will forget a lot of stuff. You need to write it down. It's important. Even you do really, like, it's the same what we did do, like, even with a lot of years experience, we prepared for each interview. We go through our resume, we check what we did, we sit and think what we really do, like during our daily basis in company. Okay, mentor sessions, yes, and mentor sessions, again, you can ask all these questions to mentors, but ideally you need to create list of answers. Watch video again, watch presentation again, watch LMS if it's needed, find maybe Google it, and create list of answers. And just you need with mentor, try to answer these questions and ask if something not clear. You cannot ask all bootcamp questions. You need to know already the answer. Just for example, you're frustrated about different type of testing and you can ask specific question. 3 sessions, it's more than enough. And believe me, not all bootcamps provide like this mentor session when people share real practice experience, even you have multiple people who can give different opinion about these questions. And it's really true, because theory, it's the same, but all people will share different knowledge, because we all have different experience, and we sometimes think different, and we have different experience in company, even if it's the same. And me and Denise and Jenny and Marina, we all will say it different way sometimes. Idea will be the same, but you know, like we all have different experience with interview and in company. We are discussing with no sense. We will see the real life when we went to go to the market. Yes, exactly. That's why you need to prepare your interview. You need to go to the market. In 3 times you will be asked a lot of questions in these recruiters, and you will see what they ask. And they really ask the same questions all the time, what we share with you. Nothing super new. Okay, guys, let's go to our API. I will try to make my screen bigger. Okay, I will return to chat again. Later, you can type your questions during my explanation. Okay, let me, it will be a lot of, okay, maybe it's better. Okay, API tools. It's a lot of different API tools, and what can be used for API testing. Gmeter, what I already told you, and Postman, it's tool what mostly usable. It's also Swagger tool. It's not here in list, but Swagger it's also used in companies, but it's comparing with other tools. Swagger mostly used for development team to create API. They create API, and that's why they can provide this list of endpoints what available for testing or so on. Swagger, it's not in this presentation, but it's also a very common tool. And you still it's Catalan Studio, API-G. I didn't have experience with these 3. Maybe you SOAP UI is probably testing SOAP API. You need to check again in job description what kind of, if they telling about API, if they have another tool, just check in Google what exactly they used. You will see from description. Again, it's not related only API. Every time when you see some tools in the job description, you need to go and Google it, because sometimes it's absolutely the same but different brand, and you will just know it testing API. Okay. Yeah, I prepared for you list of questions what you need to ask before start testing API. Again, API, it's not something unknown, it's documented, and before you will start work with this, developers will already create it. They will have documentation, they will already set up it, they will know what kind of files, JSON, XML, and whatever it will be used, what kind of response should be. It will be everything documented. Sometimes it's not because it's poor documentation, but in case you will not have, you will be frustrated what kind of, for example, you get in 201, but maybe it should be 200. Idea is the same, but you can always, if you don't have this in documentation and not clear what kind of response you need to get, you can always go to developers and ask them, it was developed this way or no? You need to ask what is the purpose of API first. Because, for example, for login, it will be different collection, not collection, it will be different suite of APIs. Before starting any API, you need to know what it does. For example, this API will create login, this API will create trips, this API will retrieve any data. You need to understand what this API actually does, what it's created for. Also, you need to ask a company, and before starting to work, what is the structure of web architecture, or if you work not in web, like overall, what is architecture of not application, like what kind of service, databases, what kind of APIs. They will provide something like chat for you or diagram, and you will know where it's coming from and where it goes. It's not something, again, what you need to think like and make assumption. You need to ask about it. They need to provide a complete application architecture. If they don't have it, someone will just draw it for you. You need to ask what kind of environment it is. Remember, if you need to test on the API like QA, it will be QA environment, it will be dev environment, it will be something else. You need to know how many environments you have. You need to, in company, you need to know where you need to test. Because if you will have task, for example, test this API, probably you will start from dev environments and QA, but again, you always should ask about this. Not in any company where you will start work, you should be shy and you don't need to think like, maybe I should know it, but I don't, and I will not be asked any questions. You need to ask this question. Nobody expect you will come to any company and you'll know how it works. It's always time for onboarding. It's always time for you, like 2-3 first week, when you need to ask this question, when you need to go from one to one, like developers, project managers, and try to figure out all information about this application. The same with API. And the next questions, like you need to ask what exactly features of this and functions of this API. Okay, and again, first of all, if you will work with API, just ask about documentation, ask what tools they use, and they will provide, and you will see how it looks. But today, what I will show you, it's probably will look like 2 different ways. It will be in Postman or Swagger. Like 99% of the time, it will be this way. What else you can ask before starting testing? What I already said, what endpoints are available. When I'm saying endpoint, probably I missed this in previous session. This URL, remember this like APIs, dash, staging, DINs, it's endpoint. This URL, it's terminology of API. It's called endpoint because API can contain like multiple different endpoints, like login endpoint, sign up endpoint, user profile endpoint. It will be all section of one API, but this URL is endpoint. You need to know because you can have like some questions and you will hear like, oh, endpoint, I don't know what is this. It's URL. Again, you need to one second. You need to know, again, I will answer all those questions. Oops, sorry, it should be the previous one. You see, it's not convenient. You see, it's hard with presentation. I will back in regular one because when I return to something, it's returning from first page. I hope you will see it. I make it bigger. Okay, you will know what kind of methods it's used for. Remember, it was like get, put, post, delete. DINs using, for example, page method and options method. Again, you will know it. I will show you, it will be just link and method will be described. You don't think, in this case, I need to use put on or post. You will know. Before interview, like they will just ask you what kind of methods you know, like in theory. But in real life, in practice, you will know this endpoint and this API work like with this method. You need to ask about authorization. For example, I will show you with login. Because sometimes when you use some methods, it's required authorization. Because security level, you need to be authorized to retrieve information from SQL. The same what we'll do like in login, we will post login, but we actually will use like authorization beer token. I already probably showed to you. I will show you again. You need to know what kind of fields required for request. If, for example, it get requests, you will know, for example, parameters. If it will be post, you will know, for example, JSON file and what kind of what exactly in JSON file for these endpoints should be filled out. Limitation for validation fields. Again, what to expect if a request was successful, 200, 201, something else. And what to expect, for example, if user did mistake with authorization, right? Maybe wrong login password, or for example, if our server down, what exactly we will show users? What kind of error will back from server? That's it. And what I told already, it's Swagger and Postman, and it's two open source resources, and they're most common, they're easy, simple, and people like to use it. We'll go a few more slides about theory, and we'll go to practice. API request, just reminder, get, post, put, page, and delete. Get, retrieve data from server, post, posting data to server, right? Put method, it just allow us to change some data. Delete will delete data, and page is actually the same with put, but you will have a big JSON file with, for example, email field, profile, login, and when you're using post, you need to fill out all fields. And when you click like send request, it will be overwrite everything. With page method, you just need to change just one or two fields. You don't need to change all fields in this JSON file. It's a difference between post, put and page, and DINs using page. For example, for changing password to user, they using page. But in my practice, for example, we never use this page, but it's up to developers and company. Okay, if again, before we start to work with Postman, Postman has a great learning center, and you can find in Postman application, it's for free. You can go through basic as well. And if you will have time and you wanna know more, you can go to their bootcamp, it's for free, and they will explain basic. What is the difference between API and web API? It's no difference. API, it's not related to web or mobile or something else. Remember, API, it's just standalone application programming interface. It's something what built-in developers and then like web using it, mobile using it, or something else. It's not, oops, who posted this huge link? What is SOAP and REST? We already covered this in previous session. What is the difference between SOAP and REST? If you miss it, you can go and check. How it related to Postman API testing. Again, Postman allowed to test REST API, and I believe SOAP as well. But we will go through just REST because most of the company will use REST, and you will have most likely REST API questions. Again, if you will be asked about SOAP, you just need to know difference and everything what I show you. But you can always say, I didn't work with SOAP. I just know how it works and what is the difference. But it's always okay to say, I don't have really practice experience with SOAP. It's normal, absolutely. Because I don't, for example, and I will not lie. No, I know how it works, but in my all companies, we never use SOAP. Does QA test in dev environments as well? Yes, sometimes, guys. It depends from company. I test, for example, in dev, then we move to QA, then we move to UAT, and then we go to production. It depends from company and also structure and availability of environments. They will say. Should endpoints method be described in API specification? Yes. Okay, probably that's it for now. Questions, and let's go to practice. Let's start from, I will show you first on DINs. We will start not from Postman right now. We will go through DINs.com. We will use our DevTools again. Okay, network. Remember this guy? It's me logged in. You can do the same if you have probably you don't need right now practice, because if you will all use maybe DINs.com, I don't know what will happen. I hope they will survive, but you can just follow me and we'll check the same later after class. I will just show you what happens if I'm trying to log in and what kind of calls it's going. It's my login, it's my password, and I'm clicking login. I forgot. You see, I don't record. Log out. I want to show you right now, when I do login, it's actually making calls about authorization. Every time when first method, when you trying to log in, first of all, it will be call, what will go to database and check if this user exists. And actually, it's one more step before this. I will show you. You see, actually, I made just login, email, password, and login. For me, like as user, right? I just click one button and I see all my profile. In real life, it's two different calls. First of all, it's using API login post method with JSON file that contain all my data, like login, password. But it's important what it returned to me. It's not return me my profile. Here it's in response. If you click this response tab, you see it's return me authorization. Here it's beer token. It's exactly what server returned to me for my next steps. It means login my valid, password valid, and they return me this authorization beer token. And here also it will be time how long this authorization token will be valid. Somewhere here. It's probably in milliseconds, expires in. It's say in how many milliseconds my beer token will be expired. In just a real life example, when you log into any websites, for example, and you don't use your password for a while, for example, 15 minutes, depends from company, right, from website, it's lock you out. Because when you log into any website, actually it give you also any type of authorization, and in some period of time, this authorization will be expired for security reason. It will be locked you out. And you see, it's technical example how it happens. Because when user log in, it's actually server sent authorization token, and in this period of time, it will be expired. And at the same time, you see our application built this way that next call happens, and it will retrieve all information about actually my user. It will retrieve data from my user. Postman, we will go through Postman because right now I need to show you how it works in real life, because you need to know where this beer token in browser, and yeah, don't worry, we will go through all of it because this authorization part is important. You see what I'm trying to explain you, this user, he sent password, is going to authorization server return us token, and then token will be used for all next calls. You logged in once, and next time you don't need to provide your user name and password in JSON file. It will be using this token for some period of time until it's not expired. It works this way. It's always about authorization, and a lot of API calls will require this authorization. And what kind of authorization I will show you right now in Postman. And right now it's time to open Postman, and we will start practice. You can open. You probably already create account. It's important to install application because it's web view, but you need to do everything what we will do. You need to download Postman application. How? Okay, it's my Postman. I probably have a little bit more than you are because I have Pro account. Let's see here. I will not go through installation, right? You all download this from presentation, and you should see this deans.com. It's a collection. It's collection, it's terminology of Postman. It's actually suites of different APIs. You see, it's a lot of different APIs, and they organize it. For example, this all APIs about trips, this all about users, wish list, and so on. It's probably the same flow how they build it. See, if you will expand any folder, you will have a lot of different methods, requests. For example, about users, you see like how many requests, post method, get, and again, we are not guessing what to use. For example, you will have this method in real life, and you will see how it works. I'm not sure, let's say, I want to show you before we will go through. Okay, let's continue with Postman. If you will have time, remind me, I will show you Swagger, okay, in different websites. Let's start from Postman and DINS, and later I will show you. Right now, you need to forget about everything what you created in DINS. We will go through Postman at all. When you will create account in Postman, you see it's actually empty for you, should be. Like nothing, like new collection, it will be empty, no collection, for example, if you practice at home. And if you click in here and plus button, it will open for you like new tab, and you can create methods and reach any API. You see? Here is drop down, and you can find all methods what can be used. It's much more than get, post, page, delete. You see, it's much more. But they use sometimes probably for the developers. We don't need to worry about it. We need to know. Just get, post, put, page, delete, and that's it. You see, if you need to, let's start from get. For example, right now, I will use just simple something like, I don't have browser, but I still wanna go and open Google, actually, with no browser. You see, it's simple. I just create in Google link and click send button. And it's probably will return me HTML file. It will return Google web page, you see? Here, it responds. Second part of this tab, it's response. You see, it's HTML file. It's the same what we see here. It's the same. If you click here, right here, it will be response. In Postman, it's the same. It's just another way. It's HTML file. And remember, when we try to use this Google, for example, search, bins, it's a lot of different when you're trying to search something, it's actually creating parameters in URL, and we can find them. Here, it's difficult with Google. Here, parameters. It's here when you click. It's actually by default open parameters. It's the same what I showed to you in URL. Here in Google example, you see it's link. I copy this link from this browser here, and you see Postman by default. It's already got these parameters and using in parameters tab. If I will change something here like TestPro, oops, it's not allow me. When I change parameters here, it should change somewhere in URL. It's about parameters. Next tab is authorization. Again, it depends from company. It's a lot of different authorization will be happen, and you can find list of different authorization here. In our case, DINS using BIRC token. And when we will use this authorization, we will go here. and fill out some fields. I just go like through overall Postman overview, and then we will practice with them. I just will show you what kind of fields you can find. Headers, body, again, if you will have any type of files here, for example, JSON files, you will be post here. Scripts, tests, test actually I will show you later. It's kind of already automatization in Postman, yeah, and so on. And right now, let's go to, I will close all my fields and we will start from DINs. What is the key? In case we don't have API, as a client, go directly to server and take it long time then use API. We don't have API. I'm not sure what you ask directly to server. If we don't have API, it's just different structure at all. But right now, like all the company will use API because for web application especially, it will be different structure. Okay, guys, DINs. You can start it and create first actually call to DINs. We will use get method. We will type here dins.com and we expect that site web available and it will return us HTML file, right? It's first call. It's exactly what happens again in browser. When you click in dins.com, you click in enter and browser using this request and send to server. It's the same. We see we got status 200. It means successful. Site was returned and it's returned as HTML file. You see it's here. It's HTML file and we can see all structure of DINs. Okay. And next one, for example, let's try to sign up to actually DINs. Again, right now, if we'll use staging, they have a lot of endpoints for us available, but we need to go around and we will find in Postman, in DevTools, what exactly they use, what APIs they use for production. Let's go log out and try to sign up new user. Sign in. Don't have account, sign up. Okay, something here. I'm just trying right now to find API, what they used for sign up in production. Anonymous. Here, you see, in browser, we can find and copy this API. Right now, it's browser will sign up, but we will do it in Postman and we'll see what happens. We will use production link to their API. You see, it's already API dins.com user sign up. It's body. Regarding body, remember this, we will use post method because we will create data in database. You need to click here body and here we'll create JSON file. Actually, again, we don't need to think what it should contain. I just copy this JSON file from their staging. I will do just the same in production. They have somewhere. It should be sign up anonymously. Yeah, you can find here sign up. I don't know why, but here it's no file. But anyway, they provide us this JSON file. You see, this JSON file required to have username, email, and password for registration. Let's create someone. Actually, this user already created. I already tried to do this, and if I will take this email and password and go to browser, I will able to log in. Right now, for example, I'm trying to create the same user. He already exists, and I will try to create user with the same email password. In real life, in browser, if we trying to use the same email or same username, it will send us the response, right? Like this user already taken or something else. Let's see what Postman will show us on server level. Okay, it's 400. You see, I tried to create user who already exists, and I got 400. It's bad request, and response is actual JSON file. And here you see it's from this drop down, Postman pick up JSON. It's return JSON file and message. This email address is already being used. Okay, let's change something. QA 9090. 9090. I will post you this registration. Yes, maybe. I just don't remember. I didn't go through. Yeah, if you found it in, I will just delete my fields. I will just copy for you JSON file what I'm using. I found it in their staging. And you can just use your data. And I will share with you link. Okay. You can practice, you can create right now any user. It will be actually, I cannot edit. You should able to edit. If you create a new one, you cannot edit what? JSON file, or you cannot edit your user. I will show you. Again, we select post method. We using this production sign up URL endpoint. Here we select body, and here I put JSON file, and I click send. Okay, I got 200. This user was created, and it returned me JSON file with data, with actually profile data, what application created for me. You see user with this ID, this email, referral code, create date, update date. And if you will have access to actual SQL, you will already know at this point, it's name of columns in our database. They have the same columns names, what we're using here. I can't find Postman. You need to install Postman. It's an app, yes, it was your homework. You need to install Postman and create account and repeat my steps. Raised hand, okay, Bach, I will unmute you if you have issue. Just let me find where is this. Yes, Vahe, you can talk.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I did all as you show, just HTTPS API DINSCOM users sign up, then send. And after that, it's not editable. I can do nothing. It says message empty body and then status code 400, and that's it. I can't go further. So it's not editable.
It's weird. It should be. I actually don't know. Did you log into your account?
I don't have.
You need
to sign up, yeah? User sign up.
Yes, but probably I don't know if you not sign up in Postman. Did you create account?
Oh, yeah, of course, Postman. Yeah, of course, I have an account.
It should be editable. If it's not editable, just create new one. Click post and just repeat one. Yeah, I don't know. You need to go around, but it should be not issue. I don't know why it's not allow you. You can always able to edit, and you can. Yeah. Okay, just create new one for now. Okay, I mute. Okay, let's go next. Okay, and right now let's try to log in with my account and see if it was really created. We go to 100, right? My account was created. You can try to repeat, and I will try to log in with my new account. We'll see if it really works. Login. I will use my account. New one. Oops. And password 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Login. Okay. You see it works. And it's actually, let's see what it returned to me. It actually should return the same what we see in Postman. You see it's login. It's, yeah. We created this user, and if you will go to profile, you will see probably this referral code. You see this referral code. It's the same what Postman showed me in my response here. You see, it's probably creating automatically when user create account. It's creating database referral code as well. Okay. Tatiana, can you share Dean staging practice? Can you share the string for Dean staging? All files about staging, again, this Dean's collection, what I showed to you, it's in Postman installation file. If you did all steps, you have access to all these collections. Go to presentation, and it was in presentation, yes. It was in presentation. You need to create Postman account. You can log in. You click import here, and you use an import from link and link in presentation. You post in here link, click import, and you will see this collection, staging collections. Again, it's about just staging. We are right now working on production because staging is broken. You have access to it, but let's see what happens if we will do post register. It's probably this what, for example, let's see what happens if I'm trying to use actually staging. You see, they have these collections users, same method post what I showed to you, click send, and we're getting, could not get any response. Actually not, it's my issue. I need to select environment. It should be 400%, 500. You see 500 bad getaway. It's the same what we see with you in browser, but when you're trying to log in, right? It's same error, 400, 502, but getaway. But in production, it works fine. That's why we practice right now in production. Okay, and I hope like someone was able to create new account, and I will wait. Raised hands, a lot of raised hands. Yes, Natalia, you can talk.
Hi, Tatiana.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did everything that was in the presentation. So I installed the Postman, and I have deans.com API, these files, but I couldn't find Dean staging practice.
It's exactly Dean staging. It just called deans.com, but it's staging.
Yeah, but when I try to open these files, deans.com API, it gives me different contents like files that I have. But I think it's.
Do you see this? Do you see here when you import collection? Do you see here deans.com API and 109?
Yes, I have this one, but I
you
don't
have everything. Mm-hmm.
But I don't have the. Can you go upper? I don't have Dean's.
It's mine. It's mine.
Ah, okay.
I just create new collection because I need to go around, and yes, I created for me just to show you today.
Okay, I got it.
I also have a lot of different project and collection, not only Deans, because it's my work. You see, I have a lot of.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking for.
Okay. No. You need to have one.
Okay. Now it's clear. Thank you.
Okay. Vahe? Do you want to ask questions? No? Good. Okay, guys, don't see here, it's new collection. If I click here, new collection, I can create any collections. Session 5, it's just folder, you see, and it show up here, session 5. You can create as many as you want. You can create Dean's collections, Dean's Prot collections. You can create collection for any other website, what I will show you today. And you will have all these folders. Because in company, again, you will not maybe work with only one website or only one web project. You will have one Postman account, and you will have a lot of different collections because they will relate to different projects. You need to have like deans.com, it's what they provide. Okay, let's another 5 minutes, we'll practice and we'll do break. I hope like everyone, like someone was able to create, couldn't log in. I have deans.com. I also do not have access to the collections. Again, you have collections. I show you from scratch. To create this method, you need to click plus button, select here post method, copy link URL, what I sent to you in chat. Just scroll up and copy, paste here. You need to select row here and paste JSON file, what I showed to you. I will show you one more time, just for everyone. Okay, this API, click plus button. It will create you absolutely new field. Select here post method. Paste here, sign up URL. Click body. Then you need to copy my file, what I provide to you, JSON file. And here from all these fields like form data, you need to select row. Row using for JSON format. So don't use none. You need to click row and paste here your file. And then change username, email, password, or whatever you would like to change. Click send and it will create new account. I hope it's clear. And I'm waiting for first person who will able to repeat. Message, invalid JSON, no body payload. You probably, you see in response, it's absolutely saying what's wrong. Invalid JSON in body payload. It means you see here, you maybe don't have like square brackets or you forgot something else. It's saying 400, it means you did syntax error. You probably did syntax error here. Make sure you copy all JSON file, what I showed to you. And I want to show you one more type. For example, if you, anytime you will need to create JSON file your own, or you need to, you will have, for example, this syntax error and you're trying to fix, you're still getting it and you cannot find this error. And online, if you will Google JSON formatter, it's a lot of online resources. I will use first one, jsonformatter.org. And you can check what exactly was wrong. You see, for example, here, I don't like this one. Let me find first one. JSON formatter, for example, I miss, for example, quotes here before username in syntax of JSON, and everything other is fine. And if I will use it in API, it will say me 400, you have syntax error. But in this tool, online, any JSON formatter, you can check what exactly was wrong. You see, it will show you that you expecting comma, blah, blah, blah. You see, it's showing you where exactly your mistake. And you can try to fix. You see, valid JSON file. It's validator. You can use it if you need to check syntax. AL, I got you. I'm sorry that you are not getting. Account created, it's working. How to create bug report with API. It's the same way what you create in Jira for any website. You just using different steps and you mention about API in your description. A report will be the same. Username, password, you forgot email. You don't have here email. It should be email, username, password, and you should be fine. I will. Okay, guys, I understand it's difficult to practice. It's the same with class. We cannot wait everyone and someone frustrated because you do mistake. I'm sorry. It's how it works in an online practice. You need to watch again. You need to open and practice all steps at home, of course. And you pissed out, and I don't want to read like this type of message that it's difficult to follow. And like I understand. It's not so easy to follow and watch, but it's how it is. I cannot do any other way. Okay, guys, let's do a break and you will try to repeat first step who still struggled and we will return in 10 minutes and we will go next, okay? Don't be frustrated. Again, it's not so easy. You need to practice and of course you need to practice at home. You need to get idea and URL for post, you need to select post method here in drop down, but link I will share with you. Select method, this URL for sign up. But post method, you need to select from this drop down. You see get post? Because by default it's get, you need to change it to post. Okay, let's do break. And I hope you will able to fix who still didn't. And see you in 10 minutes. Okay, guys, this will hear me. I hope you was able to. Okay, to make sure, I forgot to mention, if some of you install this environment and select, if you're using right now production, just change here to no environment. Maybe it can be failed because you select staging environment. It should not impact right now, but anyway, it should be no environment while we're practicing. Don't select here staging, like no environment. Okay, next one. And actually, in presentation, we have all files. So what I showed to you, just one difference is staging API, and you need to change this part of all URL to our production. To production URL. Fine. API.com. Just remove this staging, and you can use the same everything from presentation. Just remove staging dash. Okay. Do not confuse you. I will change my. Here you can change collection name. I forgot to share my screen. Hold on. Do you see, right? Do you see my screen? Mm-hmm. I'm saying like here, you need to right now work with no environment because we're creating all collection from scratch right now. We are using DINS environment staging here and drop down. Just select no environment for right now. And if you need to change, you was confused about my name of collection, like here with collection folder. If you click here 3 dots, you can change this collection, like name of it. Actually, it will be production for me. I will change. Right now, you are just repeating and you creating just one by one method. And I will show you how to create the collection after it. You can create new collection and create all calls inside of collection, but you could create request first and then saved in particular collection. For example, right now I am saying like dins.com, right? What we did. And here you see save button, create new collection, dins prod, click create. You will see new folder here. And you can then save any of your requests in this folder. Save as, and you will see all collections where you can save. Or is in here is also create collection button as well. You can create here, you can create at the left of screen. You see, I create new request. I saved here, and it will be saved in my DINS prod practice. And also here, you see it's saying home page because I already gave name to it, but it's pencil. If you click on this pencil, you can change prod website. You can give name of this endpoint to make sure you see all these names here, home page, sign up, login. You can change them if you want. It's here when you open this method. You see name here, click on pencil and change it if you need. The purpose of create collection to combine all APIs to one suite. What I said, for example, you will have like bunch of endpoints what related to sign up user, login user, username, user profile, and we will have, for example, 300 different APIs, and it will be for you difficult to find anything. Right here in DINS, you see It's regarding services, it's regarding search and users, and you need to test a particular endpoint. Yes, exactly, organized job. It's that's why you create collection, you can create subfolder, and you combine all your requests, like organize the way it works for you. And also another purpose of collection, here in Postman, it's possible to do automation. Right now we are running API one by one. One request, we are doing get and then post, then we will do that different something. We can create collection and if you have like payment paying for Postman, like I do, but you don't need to buy a payment option. It's just for my work account. You can run collections. It means right now you do everything manually, but you can, I will show you how to run all these collections like in one click. You don't need to do anything. It will just run one by one all your collections or all your requests in collection. It's a difference between Postman and all other tools because Postman allow us to combine all these requests and folders, and it's allow us to do automation. Kind of API automation. Okay, let's do next. We sign up. Let's create another method. I will again, like, don't use these Dean's collections for now. We will create new one, click tab method. And right now we need to create login password. You create account. Right now you need to log in to it. Let me sign up again using this. I will. For your convenience, just go to, we already use get, post, go to presentation and use everything from there. Next exercise, it will be login. Create post request using login. We will try to log in with our created account, but not in browser. We will try to log in Postman. You need to use link from presentation, just remove staging API. Go to Postman, click plus button, select here post. We'll use post method to create our login to application. Paste here URL from presentation. I can share it with you here. Just repeat one by one. Okay, use this URL, select post method. And here what I said, remember this untitled request. When you will save it, you can create name, for example, login, user login. Okay, post method, this API, and right now we need to use body for our request. And body is provided us in documentation, in our case, in your presentation. Here, you see. We are take URL in real life. Yes, it's real life practice. It's exactly how you work and it work. We're using URL to connect to this API. We're using JSON files, but again, I provide all documentation for you in presentation, but the company will provide you a different way. This JSON file, guys, username, you just need to use your username and password, what you just created in previous step. Body, again, row, username, password. I don't remember what I created. This guy. Just paste instead of username, just paste what you created. And we will try to log in and we'll see what happens. It should, I expect it's beer token because we will try to log in and what I showed to you, it will return us authorization beer token. And using this authorization token, we will do next call. Let's see what happens. Send. Not found. Did I quickly? It should. You see, I did typo here. I forgot M at the end of in my JSON file, and here I got a message 404. User was not found because I did mistake. I add M. I will click send, and probably this user right now should be found. You see, I got access code. It's what I show you in browser. I got this access code. It's authorization, what we will use for all our next step in to retrieve user data. Because, for example, here you see next steps. What I will show to you is retrieve data by username, retrieve data by user ID. We need to log in first to check our profile, right? An API is different calls. We will right now log in. We will use this access token to make other calls. Yes, right. I hope you didn't get any mistake, right? And you should successfully log in Postman. You should have status 200. You see, you can check the same fields what I show you in browser. It's again cookies. It's the same information what you see in browser. Any headers information, but right now we don't need to worry about. We just worry about body. We send this body JSON file, and it's returned as access code. And we will use this access code. Everything works, cool. Okay, right now, guys, you need to copy this. Don't copy right now. Just save your method to collection what you created. In my case, user login. If you create collection, just save to collection what you created. You see, I save it, it's user login, and it's again added to my collection. I hope it's no issue to create it. It's very confusing. I'm trying to follow all the steps. Instead of username, it's supposed to be email to get 200. I believe this kind of JSON file I got from Dean's documentation, but I believe Dean's should allow us to log in with username and email as well. It's two options. Previous session, when we did API, it was broken and it's allow us just using email. But I believe you can log in with username and email. I using here username because it was broken, but you can try change to email. It should work. No, you see, it's again, it's bug actually. It's good catch. It was fixed on staging last time, but it was not fixed in production. You see, I'm using username, but it's actually, yeah. Username is required, but it's actually email. It's kind of bug. Use just, instead of your username, use username, but use your email. Yeah, yes, use email. It's Dean's bugs. They should work with email, or JSON file should say username. It's kind of issue. Does it mean that username couldn't be an email? In this case, it can be email and username, but of course, it's built wrong way, right? If it's okay for user and browser use email and username, but JSON file, if it's saying username, it should be data for username. It's a data for email, it will be here email. It should be. It will work, but again, they develop this way, and it's not right. It's confusing because when you will test it in real life, right? They will provide you, okay, username, password. You will try to use your username. It will not work. You will get 400 and you will report bug because they need to provide JSON file with right names. They provide us this type of name. Yeah, it's a bug. In my opinion, it's a bug. They need to provide everything correctly what we need to use. Okay, guys, next step, we will try to retrieve our profile. If you remember when you log into Deans.com, next call, what browser does, it's actually retrieve data from profile. It's another call It's users me, and we will try to repeat the same. It will be already get method, remember? Why we use post method? Because we posting data, we sending user and user and password. Right now we will use get method because we will retrieve data from server. We are posted this slide. We are posting login password and it sent us token, and next step we will retrieve our profile. But for login we using post because we posting data and it sent us just beer token. It's not data for us, it's just beer token. Okay, next step. Post method again, get method, sorry. This one will be get. And this link, we will try to retrieve data. Use this link, API IDs come users me, get method, and remember, in get method, we don't have body, remember? Right now, we will not use this row. This will work. And just try to click send. You see it's get method, you're using this API IDs that come users me. And you should get 400. It means you cannot retrieve any data because you are not authorized. You need to have authorization to make this call. And here, from previous call where you tried to log in, you need to copy. Where is mine? Where's my user? Oh, from previous post method where you tried to log in, copy this access token. Just not quotes. You see here, don't copy quotes, just starting from first symbol here. Copy beer token from previous your post method. And here in authorization profile, you need to select beer token. Remember, it's beer token. It says access token and token type beer token. But again, it can be different type of authorization. To select anything from drop down, a company will say you what kind of authorization they did. We just know for DINs we're using beer tokens. That's why we select beer token. And here in the token field, you need to paste token from previous message. You don't need to see presentation. If it works for you to use presentation to check API, check presentation. But I'm copy all steps here in chat. If it's more convenience. I'm posting everything what I'm doing in chat. If it works better for you using my link from chat, use it here. If it's better for you in presentation, because some people will have two screens, monitors. And actually for QA work, for any development work, it's not possible to work with one monitor. Right now I am with one monitor and it's super hard to work and show to you. In all companies, IT companies, you will have 2, 3 monitors, sometimes 4 monitors, because you will have something here open, something here, and website as well, and some documentation. Because if you have one monitor, you will not able to work at all. Okay, get method API user me. Create Postman JSON file. We logged in. It's next one. It should work, but it doesn't. Be careful when you copy this authorization token. Okay, right now it works. One more time, guys. Get method user me API what I sent you right now and click on authorization type. In authorization type, you need to select beer token and paste token from previous login request. You send your login password and response was with access token. You need to use this access token for all next hour steps. But it's not, again, right now, you just need to repeat once and I will show you how to automate this part, and every time when you will be logged in, it will be saved automatically, this token, but it's already part of automation. It's just important for you to do it at least once manually. But of course, in real life, we're trying to automate some stuff to make sure we cannot do stupid, boring things like multiple times. I can find the part that we need to copy. You need to return to post method for user login. If it was 200 for you when you log in to create an account, scroll down and it will be respond body here. And in respond body, you should see access token. Copy access token, but not quotes. Just you see no quotes, just symbols. Copy this and paste to authorization. I can find the part. 400, it means you did something wrong. You copy probably something wrong. Guys, it's anyone able to copy access code? Video will be available at the end of the day or tomorrow. Okay, some people, yes, did. Cool. I know, guys, I am sorry 100th time because I know it's hard to repeat and watch and presentation, but it's how it works. You can just watch for now. If you cannot repeat, it's okay, just watch and you will get information and then you will just repeat at home. Because we all different and some of people. Okay, and click send and you will see 200 here, or sorry, in this method. You see, and it's return as our profile. If you scroll down in body, you see it's again like some information about user rating, average count, his ID, email, username, reference code created. It's probably returning the same what we see in browser here. You see it's the same response. It's the same response what I see in my, if you will log in through browser, you will see the same response tab. Okay, next one. Right now, next one, it will be about user ID. Next exercise, guys, user ID. As user from browser, you don't know user ID, but we got it from API user ID. You see this ID in your response? For next call, we will use this ID, user ID. And we will try to retrieve data using ID. Again, I am not guessing what kind of API to test. I copy all this API from staging. You will have task at work. For example, we create new API, get referral info. Please test. You will see what body, and you should get 200. That's it. It will be your real task work. You are not guessing. Right now, we just practicing doing like single get post method, but I didn't create it myself. I just grab it from Dean's staging. We just changed to production. It's not something what I I need to create. Your work as QA, it will be done for you and you will just test, all right? You will just create this get method, change some parameters, click send, and you will see response and you will test status code and JSON file would return to you, for example. It's what your QA task. 200. I see the ID and the everything, but not the big text to copy. You don't need to copy big text for now. Hold on. You need just ID. Big text to copy, it was for authorization. I just repeating multiple times the same stuff because some people confusing. Okay, let's do user by ID. It's next step. We will retrieve data. You can again, like in presentation. API IDs user ID. Use this API. We will use get method, but user ID here, just remove this user ID and square and use your ID. Just variables, that's why everyone should use his own ID. This one. Copy from your previous response. I have so many. Use your ID from users me call. Get method, link what I post to you, change to ID and click send. In this case, for some reason, again, for some reason, DINs not required authorization. For my opinion, it's wrong. You see right now, I didn't post any authorization code and it still retrieve me data. But again, we don't know where this API using. Maybe it's not for user. Maybe this API, it's another call what browser does, but it's not like, I don't know. We don't know where it's implemented this endpoint. But anyway, here we don't need authorization for some reason. You just need simply URL and change your user ID and you will see JSON file return 200 and you see some user data again. Forbidden. You did forbidden, but it's message. What kind of status? What kind of response you got? 500, 400, depends from this response. You will get idea what exactly wrong. Syntax error or it's server error or something else. 403, what kind of 403? Go into Google or my presentation, API response. If you are not sure what does it mean, forbidden. It's not access, it's not authorized. You probably forbidden for, you have forbidden for this last one or for user me. If for user me, maybe you forgot to paste this. I don't have any issue. I will post again this link just after this slash. Please copy your ID from previous. Yes, you're doing mistake on your side. I posted link user slash, and you need just to copy your ID from previous session, like from previous request, and you should be fine. This ID, but we all have different ID. Does it work, Valeria? Yes, ID, yes. Mm-hmm. And it works for you, or you have an error? I didn't get like, I see some people already got 200 and they're fine. So some people still. Okay, I hope like I go to 100. Okay, it works for most of the people. Great. You see, and again, our work will be, you will have particular request, you will know what kind of method it should be done, what kind of data you need to have. And think it this way, right now we are retrieving our ID from previous call, but the way how we can find ID and check this API, any idea how, for example, before not using previous steps, you will have single task. Please test this API and you need to use user ID. What to do? How to find user ID? We're doing in personal Postman. It's everything what you do, it's just yours. Not in DevTools. For DevTools, we can use like just only one single user, right? If you log in, you can go to database. If you know a specific, for example, email, you can always find users table and you will see all data regarding this user, including ID. And you can pick up in table just random ID and use it for testing this API. ID right now, we're just doing one by one, but sometimes you can test just particular single API. You just go into database and retrieve data. You don't care what kind of user, you just need simply ID. You're going to database, retrieve this ID and use this to test API. That's it. Right now, we're just testing with our users, right? I create mine, you create yours. But if you will need to test the same API 300 times because it's buggy, you return, it's buggy, you return, so on, or you just go into SQL, retrieve any random ID from dev database, in our case, from production database, and you just using it. It's another way how to retrieve data from SQL, and we already know how retrieve data, right? You will know where all this data create. For example, for ID, it will be user stable, I believe, in MongoDB. If you watch video from what I shared with you in this basic 4 class, it's user stable. It's simple, you will open. If you are testing API in production environment and pick up the user from database, you will get information about this in your email. We are trying to avoid the test production, remember? Question, we are testing like, most likely you will not, you will have problem production test account that you will use. To test all other tasks in QA, you will use like random users from database. For production testing, you will create one test account and you will test just only yours. You're not testing users. Okay, next one, guys, using by username. It's the same task, but you need to find from your profile username, but you probably know what you created. And just retrieve data based on username. And guys, it's not only exercises right now, it's API testing already. That's why I say API testing is not complicated at all. You just need to know structure, you need to know this type of queries, and that's it. It's all these methods, body, authorization if needed, and it's what it is. We're right now testing real life scenarios. We built, for example, new API endpoint. They provide us link. We know what to test, what kind of response, and it's our task in Jira, for example. In this sprint, they build this API, and our work is QA to test it when they're done. Just change username to username as always. It's exactly, it's not like I'm just showing you weird examples. It's QA work. Just test API. It seems sometimes more complicated than it's in real life. That's why I'm trying to give you example. Oh, nice. Okay. I tried to use staging. Guys, don't forget API. Okay. I didn't post staging, right? No. Done. Yes, and you will have the data from user, right? Again, same request. You can check cookies. Maybe sometimes for any reason you need to check, but I don't think you will. At least like first years when you will work as tester. Maybe for some complicated work you will need it, but for right now you need to care about status and body. You will check what that, for example, JSON file show all data what you need. Again, documentation, you will see, for example, this example, it will be just a string like type of data what you need to see. And you will check, for example, okay, I see level, I see rating, I see languages. Oh, okay, in my response, for some reason, I don't have username field. But in their example, they say I should see it. You probably will create bug, or you will confirm with developer if it's issue or no. Because, for example, you should see like particular amount of rows, and you know this user really has this data, but for some reason JSON file not returning it, it will be bug. Just update user API using page method. Yes, exercise 6, we will try to change, but again, we'll see if it will allow us to do in production. Change data in JSON file. Let's see what they do in staging on this page. You can find here. You can always go to their staging collection, find this method, and see body what they provide to us. You see, and it's exactly probably your question, right? What exactly we need to post? I changed my password, but yeah, you need to know what kind of fields to change. You need to know what to use in body. And let me try first. And if it works for me, I will share with you link. I didn't try to do it in production. API IDs, users me. And I need to, I probably will not able, you see, for changing, did you find a page for changing password? I just probably opened something wrong. Password reset post method. We can change password, you see. Did you post it? Sasha, did you use page method and it was password was changed? Oh, okay. Did you, what kind of JSON file did you use? Can you post here with people? Sure. Just simply, you see, you just created your own. Yeah, because in there, yeah. Guys, you can use the same. Okay, I will share them. You copy from post. Okay, you see, you're smart. But again, we're not. It can be. It's right now successful, but it can be error because it will say, for example, you. We need to know what kind of JSON file to use page method. In our case, you see, like they give complicated example. Let me check mine if I will able to log in. Where's my login? Let me try. I'm trying to username. Okay. And my password was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. I will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for example. Page method, body. I am not sure it will allow me. It should be after the 500. It's not allow me. And I think it's required. It should require authorization. It's must. Okay. I did it. Because I have created. Okay, about request, what we're doing one by one. I will show you one more time how to create collections, and you will save all these methods to your new folder, okay? What we're creating. Okay, guys, page method, I was able to do it. I hope you will able to do it as well. Page method, remember, it's just override I expect from this method, it will overwrite my password in database. It's this method, and you need to use authorization beer token again from your login session, and your JSON file should be this. Just change your username and password, create new password. And I expect it should change. And authorization. Page method here, this URL, what I posted. But JSON file is always just change to password, what you want to use. But, okay, but it says our like 200, but let's see if it really changed. Let's go. I don't trust Deans anymore. We need to check if it really allow me to, because right now we just use our JSON file. I'm not sure it will really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Login. Cannot log in. Wrong email or password. You see, again, it's not a bug. You will have 200 error. It's expect that you will just overwrite this password, and you will think it's successful. But in real life, when I try to log in with this login password, it's not allow me to, because we didn't change it probably with this API. In their example, it's maybe it doesn't work just for me. 2-3 minutes. Yeah, maybe in this case, maybe we just, it's API required like time to update. Did you log in? I don't. If you logged in, I think everyone will be. Yes, okay. In this case, you see like it's not a bug, it just takes time with different password. Okay. You couldn't log in? Anyway, it will be your homework, guys. Everything what we do, it will be your homework. You will practice again. Idea right now to see all methods what you can use. Okay, and right now it's let's go. We will not practice with methods anymore. We will. I will show you a few Postman features. It's really cool. Again, right now you created a lot of different requests, right? And if you will close Postman, you will lose them. You need to save them to collection. It's 2 options. You here have new collection button. You can create new folder and click on every single request what you did and save it. Create collection, and here it's save. You see, I click on post method what I used, click saved, and it will be option where to save. And you can scroll down here, you see it's like collections name, where you can, yes, I have them saved. Okay, Valerie, probably it was your question, right, about this. I just repeat for you. Okay, I think it's clear. And you can create collection here, and it's also, you can create collection during saving. Just, it will be option create new. Okay, guys, and right now, I want to show you a cool feature. Let me say, for example, you see when we tested on production, I just changed initial URL, right? It just, this part was changed, but probably everything after slash was the same. It's API-deans.com users login. For staging, it will be API/staging-deans.com users login. For QA, it will be something else. It will be just different for this URL. And my question to you, If you have any other experience, what we can do to reuse the same link multiple times. Valerie, don't worry. It's just again, you will. It's anyway. It will be your homework. You will create from scratch again. You need to practice. Don't worry. Environment. Yes, guys. We need to specify environment, because if every time we will need to create these folders again and again, and it's kind of boring, stupid work, right? We can specify. It's called variables in every programming language, in Java, Postman, or Python, Ruby, or whatever. It's variable. We create a variable once and we specify the value, but name of variable will be the same. And I will show you how to do it. You have here I sign. If you click on this I, you can, it's the same what you did for staging. You can, but right now you will create new one for production. Create environment, you can create add button, click add button, and you will call, for example, prod environment. And here it will be the same syntax what we did in for staging. Prod beans. You can give whatever names, whatever you like. Let me just find this API name. And you need to put this API, what we like, first part of API, this API deans.com. That's it. Oops. And add. And you will have one more environment here. Again, I button, add new environment, and you create variable name, for example, production, QA, staging, or whatever my environment name. And here you will put like this URL, what we will use, just this part. It's always the same for all API calls, you see? It's just different for after slash. If you will check all these APIs, but they already have environment, it's different just in URL. But this initial URL is the same. And right now in my drop down, what I created, I see production environment. I have actually multiple. You can create any name. You see like in staging, if you click on this I button, oops, not that. If you will select any of environment, and you will click on this button, you will see what kind of values here, and you can edit it always. You see, like for staging, we create base URL, HTTPS, staging API. If something changed, or you want to change URL, or you want to change name, you can do it here. Okay, and right now I want to make a trick, and I want to change all my requests, and to make sure I am not typing again and again this API. And I will do the same to specify this variable. It's double square brackets. When did we do staging? We did staging when we create Postman account. It's in previous presentation. It was when you install this collection on Deans. It will be one of slide where we specify a staging environment. We do the same right now for production. Okay, I'm waiting for you when you create a prod environment, and we will go. It's what it was not in last class. It was in presentation, in lesson presentation. It was your homework. We didn't do it in class. If you miss it, you can open presentation and repeat. Okay, and the syntax here, you need to use this squads. And when I click send, you see it will use an, oops. You need here to select production as well if you're using production. And you click send, and it doesn't work. Why? Broad URL, I did mistake somewhere. Broad environment. Okay, sorry guys. It's for home page, it will not work because home page is not API-DINS.com. Home page, it will be just DINS. We can skip this. This step will be the same if we need to test just production. Let's go to the next, because this URL is not API. Sign up, first hour, so it was sign up. We need to remove right now all this API-DINS.com and change to our variable name. Prot user sign up. You see? It will be, of course, bad request because I'm trying to log in, but again, it works. And you need to change to this variable to each step what we go with you. For user login, you see it works. And if you move cursor to this prot, you see at first it's red. If you specify right way, it's connected, it knows what environment you're using. If I will remove, for example, any bracket, I do syntax error. It's not highlighted. It's error. You see, as soon as my syntax right, it's red. Environment should be red. And if I move cursor to this environment, it will be show up a window and it will be some note for me what kind of environment I use. You see, it's API-DINS.com. Is DINS working? It should. Natalia, if you're trying to use homepage as I did last step, it will not work. You need to, because DINS.com has different link, not API-DINS.com. Okay, and again, you save all your steps to one folder, DINS production practice, right? And you need to, at homework, you will be just go through every single request, what we did, and change it to production. And I want to show you, because we have limited time, I want to show you one more step. I use this one. You cannot use DINS master. No, it doesn't work. It's this one should work, but it's not for environment. This link, what you showed to me, it's not for API. This link's for homepage. For API, staging API, DINS API, it's different URL. It's in presentation. For staging DINS, it will be staging API DINS.com. To check just homepage, you need to use like DINS.com, staging.com. Okay, right now it's hard to show you because I have mess, but anyway, right now I will able to, it's homepage, I just want to show I have delete. You can delete or request if you don't need it, for example, you see. I am sign up, production. I will delete. Some of you still creating user by email. I just want to sort because I have some trash here. Users need staging. I will delete it as well. Okay, right now I have multiple requests, you see, and they all with environment production if I need it. In any case, for example, our link will be changed. You don't need to go to every single request and change this name. You will go just environment and change it here, because the environment, like this URL, it can be changed a lot of times. Depends from our server, they can move to staging /API/something else. And you need to go through all these hundreds requests and change it manually. This is why we create a variable, and if something changes in production, you just go into environment, change it once, and all your steps will work. You don't need to do it multiple times. And right now I want to show you one more cool feature. Remember, I told you, first of all, I will show you how to create variable for our beer token. Remember, we did this username, right? And we create this, it doesn't work, right? Because it's staging. You see, I select here wrong environment. In my case, it's in staging, but I trying to use prod in my post method, and I'm getting an error. I need to select here prod. I specify here prod, and when I try to run my request, I need to select the right environment. In other case, it will fail. It should work. Why it doesn't? I know why it doesn't. It doesn't because I probably have two production environment, and in one of them it's probably error, and we will see which one. Yeah, it's wrong. Okay, you need to use just yours because I have multiple. In my case, I created prod environment. You see, and here it's tab test. Remember, when we log in, we are getting bear token, and we need to copy this bear token and save it again. And for example, you will have 20 requests with using the same bear token. It might work to copy paste it all the time. It will be expired. You need to do it again. And we can do kind of automation for this in here in test. Simply, you will say Postman, if you, when you will get this JSON file with response, go here, copy this access token, and save it for authorization. And Postman will do it itself. And you will see this syntax. It's already written in their example. If you open staging, you see here test tab, and they already have kind of automation. We can just simply reuse it. This I will show you. You can go to test, or I can just simply share with you this. Go to your login. Go to your login method and click test tab and paste code what I sent to you. It's just simply JavaScript language. Postman uses JavaScript for automation. It's much simpler than like regular automation, what we know about the Selenium, API tests, and so on. It's much simpler, and you can, right now, it's just for your information what's possible, because they can ask you in an interview, for example, did you work with Postman, what you did, and you right now, you can say, for example, you create different environments and you simply use simple automation. Where is link? Link is above. Do you see link? It's not link. It should not be link. I am sending you JavaScript code. And in this case, when you will click send, we will make call, and Postman will save this access code in authorization, and you don't need to copy paste it anymore. And it will save in environment. Again, you don't need to worry about the syntax, it's just for information. You see, it's set environment variable. Postman will go and check response body JSON file, take data from access code token. You see this access token. Find JSON response, take access token, and please set to the environment. And if you will run right now this one, this code will work, and you will see new variable in our environment. Here, If you click on I right now, you will see this beer token right now saved. It will be the environment as well. If it will be changed every time when you run this login, it will be new beer token, it will be overwritten. And right now we don't need to worry about this. Try to repeat, and while you're repeating, I will show you the next. And let me know when some of you are able to use it. We just need to change one more step in our next steps to make sure it works. Okay, and right now you see you have new variable environment, but you need to change everything in your all steps where you specify authorization. You need to say Postman for this request, this authorization already in environment. And we will use, go to your method users me and click here headers. And you need to specify, I will probably, authorization key, authorization, and value I will post to you, will try to post. You can find in, you need to say header, when you start to type authorization, it will be in this key. You see when you try to type something, it's some notes for you from what you can use. Because test result different, I will show you. Okay, key is authorization, and you need to specify value. Again, it's in headers. Beer token, our success token. Authorization is key and beer is value. Okay, and right now it will not use this tab for authorization. It will use headers, because here in authorization we specify manually, but here in headers it's kind of will take from environment this value. Okay, and if you will click, it should work. It should work. It should work. Let me check. Okay. I'm using, sorry, for you it should work. I'm in staging again. I have so many windows. Authorization, value, authorization code. Okay, it should work. It works. Okay. Right now you see like you just need to go through all your requests, and if you have any authorization, you just need to change headers to make sure it will check from environment. It's called, guys, also refactoring in all programming. In all developers use this. You're writing something from scratch first time, and then you will always return and change something. It's normal. It's called refactoring. We wrote this request initial, right? We run them manually. Right now we want to improve them, and we're doing refactoring. It's the same what programmers do for their code. They wrote something, but for example, they wanna do it more clear, or they wanna. All programmers, all developers, they use different class names, and they want to specify some rules about this. It's called refactoring. It's the same what you will do when you will start doing automation. You will always return and check your code, make it more clear. Maybe you got new knowledge and you know it can be more smart. You will do this refactoring all your steps, like again and again and again. It's same what we did. We create manual, single, get, post, page request, then we create collection. Right now we create environment variable, then we create this, for example, authorization, right? Right now it's smart. And the same, for example, with username, right? Again, we copy this, for example, username and user ID from our previous step. but we can specify an environment, right? And you can do the same. I will change it here to my prod. You can specify uppercase prod. For example, I wanna make variable for username. I don't wanna type it here again and again every time when I use it. I wanna change it just once in my environment, right? It's simpler for me because maybe 30 different requests will use the same username. It changed once and I need to go one by one. It's easier for me to specify. You go into environment and you again just create a new variable. In our case, you can use, what is my username? User? I don't remember what was it. It's my username, okay. Username. I will create username. It's more clear. We just create a new variable username, and every time when you need to use new user, for example, you just go into these variables and change it. You see, and it's 200. It's okay. It go to production environment. It's go to username. Again, if you move this cursor to username, you see what is the value there. In any case, something changed, you just go in. And you should understand that right now it's just simple. And of course, Postman allow us to do it all automatically. It's if you know some JavaScript, you can create this data not manually. For example, you need to create new email and new username. It's possible to do some JavaScript code, put here in test, and it will create a new user for you, new name, like generic something, new email, something. It's already automation. Right now, you don't need it. If you will be interested, like after bootcamp, you can go in. Right now, at my work, I do a lot of automation in Postman and API. And when I started to do it in Postman, I use in Udemy, it's 2 bootcamps. It's a cool guy who's showing all these automation steps. You can check it. But again, it's not necessary right now at all. Don't spend time for it because you have a lot of things to learn. But when it will be time for you to go deeper to Postman or automation, first of all, you need to, here you see like icon bootcamp. At the end of your screen, bootcamp, if you click on it, you have some information from Postman, how to create environment, how to create collections, all API documentation. You can go through this. It's for free, just one by one. It will not allow you to jump to another section until you're not finished. For example, please create environment. Just step by step, you can do. And if you will need to do some automation when you will work, and you need to know, like, it's cool course on Udemy exists, it's just $10 or something, and you will able to do some automation. Okay, and I want to show you how to do different cool stuff in Postman. One more question was not answered about tests. To have here test result, it's different. Again, to have here test result, it should be script for here to go and check, for example, status code. If you see my screen, here it's arrow in Postman. And you will, here you see Postman provide pre-written tests for us. You don't need to go deeper for right now, but you can use here for test something what they already, for example, if you click here status code 200, it will be code what will be checked, like our status code. And it's different. It's kind of, you see, like you don't need a lot of knowledge for it now, but you can use something what they provide to us. It's already automation. For example, you will run this request, and Postman will check if status code is 200, or maybe you need 201. You will just change here, and let's see what happened. Send, and you see test result right now pass here in our response because it's a change, it's check status, but it's already automation. You can change test response. You see, you can change. You can change here what you want to see in send. You see different text. Test response 200. It's again, you can change it, and it's comparing with 200. But let's say I want this test to check status and pass it if it's just 200. But let's say I expect 201. Right now, it should fail my response. You see, because I got 200, it check with 201, and it's saying fail. It's automation test case, you see. And you can check during your practice, like what else schools they have, like global variable, any other variables. You can compare some text in your JSON file. For example, you expect to return JSON file, and employee should have name like, I don't know, like Alexandra. And yeah, it's kind of code here what will check that value exists in JSON file. But it's just for your information. Change to wrong code. Yes, I change for wrong code just to show you how it's failed. Okay, and yeah, play around. Again, it's in test tab, and here you will see small arrow, and you will see like examples of tests. And at work, if they will use Postman, probably they will have Pro account, and it's possible to run all tests together. For example, Dean's collection. You see it's here, just arrow as well. If I click on it, I am not sure you have this option because again, right now I logged in Pro version of Postman because I use my work account. Maybe you don't have it. I believe you don't have this run options in free. You just can run one by one. But if you pay for it, it's allow you to run all these requests like at the same time. If I will click this run button, it will open me collection runner. You see all my collections here displayed. I specify environment where I wanna, for example, staging. I specify how many times I wanna run this request. When I click run runs, it will run one by one all my 100 requests. How many I have here in 109, you see. Of course, it will be like 400 something because it doesn't work, but it's running automatically. You see, I don't need to do anything manually one by one. I just click run button and it works. Okay, if you can run, you can, cool, that's cool. It's probably monitoring it, that's perfect. You can try to run just to make sure it will be fail again in sign up, because every time when you run this sign up, it will require a new name. You can try to implement some automation, right? Like to change this name automatically, but probably just maybe move this step to the end. Maybe anyway, it will be failed because it will try to create the same user again and again. But all other cases should be fine. Yeah, that's cool. You see, it's your answer. Why are we using Postman? Because it's cool. You create like 50 of them, run it, and it does itself. And can you imagine how many steps and how long it takes to do it in browser? Check all this stuff. And how easy and simple it's an API. That's why we test an API. That's why people like to test API, because you can find a lot of bugs before UI implementation. And even if, again, it's for example, server not available, you're trying to log in browser, it's error. But here you can run your Postman methods like every day, right? Every minute You don't need to open browser and you will catch bug, or if something not available, API down, super fast. And I will show you one more option, and it's probably this option for sure, not for free, but I have it again. Check if you have. Here, if the 3 dots and scroll down, and if you have this monitor collection, I believe you don't have it. Monitor collection, it's not free, but I will describe you a feature. This monitor feature allow you to run this by schedule. You can create any schedule what you would like. For example, take me this API collection and this environment, and please run it every day at this time, or every hour, or every 2 hours. And what I'm saying, you, for example, specifying like your production environment, you have your test user, and this user, and you will have like collection of requests what you can run, right? With not damage anything in production. And it will run. It will try to open website. It will run to add some trips. It will try to log in, try to log out every hour, every 30 minutes via API. And if something broken, you will get response, and it will send you email that something broken. And you can do any other work, right? You don't need to test this website like every day, hundreds times. It's just running itself, automation. You have it. Oh, that's cool. You could. That's perfect. It's maybe limited. I don't remember. You can read in their explanation. It's probably limited of amount, how many times you can monitor or something, but it's some difference between the pro account and regular account. But if you have, that's cool. You can create this Zen time, for example. You can create any collection after class, and you can specify name of collection. You can specify environment, for example, if you run production, or and you can specify, for example, every hour or every 2 hours. And you can create this runner and probably show additional preferences, and it will send you email. Oh, it's it should be hold on. Monitor. It should be a specification of email. I don't find it. It should be option to add notification. Okay, here, receive email. Sorry, I don't see it. Receive email here in, and you can specify your email, and every time when it's run, it will send you notification. Was it successful or not? You will see all steps, how many failed, how many passed. Yeah, that's cool. You can try to play around with this. Receive email notification, yeah. We have one, yeah, it's enough for you to try. Again, if you will do it, you will see like an interview, you know, like just play around, it's not complicated. We will just maybe have another 15 minutes, and I want to show you more websites where you can practice. Receive emails notification. It will send you with failures and passes. It will be, it depends what you want, but yes, it will be every hour to run and send you everything successful. And you can include as many emails as you want. For example, you want to have it, manager will see it, developers will see it, you know, all team will get this notification. It's another cool feature of Postman. I see, guys, it's clear, right? Our topic is API. It's all about API, all these methods, response, request, just practice. And I want to share with you another few resources. I probably will ask you, don't practice a lot with Deans, because we will punished by Denis Platonov, because it's production, remember? And we should not, we use just during class, maybe do it once, but to use all this Postman feature, try to use different websites, because Deans will see a lot of different calls, you know, like in hundreds and thousands. They will turn off all our production at all. We will not have access to it. Let's see what Swagger. I wanted to show you Swagger. Swagger. You can practice.
It's like pet store Swagger?
Yeah, pet store and also some library. Denise, will you kill me? That you work with?
You can just probably Google it, pet store Swagger.
Yeah. It's I found yesterday. Probably, guys, it's easier. It's Swagger. It's another tool what can be used for testing API. But again, if you will use it in company, probably it's not something what you will create like in Postman. You will have list of APIs available. I will share link with you, and you will just run them. But for your information, how it can look like, and I know I use, for example, in company, I have everything in Swagger, and when I join my company, I just request a Postman account and I build automation for them. But they use Swagger because they don't do automation. They just integrate all their endpoints to whatever they used. But for testing, it's complicated, like to use one by one. That's why I created Postman account in my company. You can play with this one. It's pet store. You know, if you have, it's same, that pet store, I believe. Or it's PetSmart or it's not PetSmart. Interesting. I'm not sure if this, Denise, do you know if this PetSmart API or it's another pet store? Pet store.
It's a good question. No, I don't know.
They have petstore.com actually. Yeah, it's probably this website, petstore.com. Guys, you can again create account here and play around and use these APIs. If you want to have extra exercises, you see here they give us a lot of different APIs. Get, post, delete, we don't need to guess. If you click on it, you can try to run their APIs. Go to their website, create your account, and you can try to, for example, it's actually good example for you how documentation can look like. For example, here you see they specify, when I expand it, I know pet's ID, it's integer, and I know what it should be returned. It should be returned pet by ID. If I need to use post method, you see it's link pet ID. They specify what kind of fields. It's the same probably JSON file, but they did different UI, you see, and we don't need to write it. We just need to fill out fields. Probably the same JSON file, pet ID, integer, name, string, so on. If you want to practice, and another one, it's probably free library. I just okay. It should. Okay, this one. It's also Swagger. It's open. I will post in general both of them. If you will have time, you need extra exercises, as you always ask me. You can create a collection for this. It will be your homework. It's extra homework for someone who always complaining about not enough homework. Just do the same for these websites, for example. This library, I will show you. If they will ask you an interview Swagger, if you use it after you will check this website, you can say, yes, I know Swagger test API and it looks like this. It's another open source API collection that you can use. Try to play around with this. I will explain right now homework, and I'm waiting your question another 5 minutes, and let me see what you will have homework. You can start typing questions or I can unmute you. your homework: create a new account with API, log in to newly created account, retrieve information, update your first name, phone number, and add trip to cart. But probably to add trip to cart, we didn't go through it. You can find this API in Dins staging collections, just change URL, or you can do the same in browser and check what URL in DevTools and finish this exercise. And you also have similar Jira ticket. That's it. Just go through all exercises one more time. It will be more than enough for you to practice. Which website can be used for practice? For practice, you can use Postman and what I showed to you. It's practice already. It's not the same with SQL, like open source, get, post, delete. Practice on Postman, what I showed to you, and these two Swagger websites, you can also practice. It's a little bit different than SQL. SQL is languages, why we provide you some resources, but in API, Postman is good resource to practice. Most common questions, guys, you can Google it. We have a presentation, but I know people always, even after bootcamp, they always ask me what is the difference between get and post. All the time when they start to do interview, it's probably first question what they're getting from recruiter. Get is retrieve information from server, posting information, data to server. And the difference, like technical difference between them, when we using get method, we using all parameters inside of URL, endpoint, remember, endpoint it's called, no body for get method, and post method using body. In our case, I show you with JSON files because Dins using JSON, but it can be XML and some other different types. But your answer will be JSON because you use it for JSON file in body for Dins. It's the main difference. It's probably the most common question between about difference between put and post. Again, posting data, put will post data if it's not exist, and it will override existing record if it was already created. Page will modify our data just virtual, like like if you need to change just email or just name, it's page method. It's fast recap. I hope you not all of you was frustrated. I'm glad because some people sent me already nice words that it's not possible to repeat. I'm sorry about this. Yes, your homework, just repeat and practice. If you will be interested, send me in general or ask me teacher, and I will send you a link to Udemy course. It's again $10-12, and you can just buy it when you will need for work. Just save maybe link because this guy really cool, and it's clear how he explained. Okay, thank you guys for attending. Yeah, and I probably will see you soon for after offer session, or maybe JMeter, probably it will be also with your group. Yeah, thank you so much. If you will have any question, just post me, ask teacher, and I will be happy to answer. Thank you, and see you all next session. Thank you.